Hello everyone, and welcome to the DPB podcast. I am your host, Ryan Mondis, with DisneyPinsBlog.com, the latest news on Disney pin trading and collecting from around the world. This is episode number 118 for the week of February 5th, 2018.
Welcome to the Disney Pins Blog Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I have my friend with me this week. Her name is Emily. You guys might know her from YouTube as Zippity Doo Disney. So thanks for joining,
Hello.
Emily.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you on this week. So we actually have a pretty big episode this week. Lots of pin news from all different outlets. So yeah, let's get right into it. We'll start off with our housekeeping. First, I want to mention the February flyers were just released this past week. I'm sure you guys have seen them already. They were a little delayed by Disney, but the Disneyland one's out and the Walt Disney World one. So you guys can check out the limited edition pin releases coming up this month. I also put a video up on the YouTube channel talking about the Disney Studio Store Hollywood pins and just a little more in depth about that. And Emily, I actually pinned one of your comments. I don't know if you saw it on the video. Because you went more in depth about like the lottery system, which I didn't really touch on, which I thought was a good point. So thanks for commenting that. That video is getting a lot of positive remarks, so I'm happy to help out the beginner pin traders there.
A lot of people starting out, they always ask, where is the studio store? Because there are Ghirardelli stores, you know, by Disney World, and there's a Ghirardelli shop in Disney California Adventure. So, right. You know, a lot of people, you know, they're really interested, but they don't know much about it.
Right, exactly. I actually saw someone commented, and they said they were at Disney Springs, and they were looking for the pin trader delights down there. But yeah, I wish they were in Orlando, but unfortunately they aren't. Yeah, that'd be cool if they send them over to the other coast too. Yeah, that would be awesome. And then the last thing for housekeeping, I always have to plug our event coming up. It's getting close here. It's going to be April 28th. Tickets are on sale until March 28th. It's going to be held at Epcot in the Norway Pavilion. And we're actually working on a limited edition pin for all guests. And it's actually going to be designed by a official Disney pin artist, so it's pretty awesome.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the final product. We don't have it in yet, but I saw some of the concept, and it's looking awesome. So, all right, let's get right into the pin news. Like I said, it's pretty packed this week. So we'll start off with Mickey's of Glendale, because later in the episode for Pin Chat, Emily and I are going to talk about WDI pins and go a little bit more in depth about them, because we do get lots of questions about Mickey's of Glendale WDI pins. But this week on February 5th, there are new releases. These are getting lots of great positive remarks. There are these little locket pins, they're hearts, they're hinge pins, Lion King, Robin Hood, Hercules, and Little Mermaid. So those are pretty awesome pins. Limited edition $250, retail price is $22.95. There's a Mardi Gras 2018 pin featuring Princess and the Frog. Very colorful pin there. There's a Chinese New Year pin featuring Pluto, because it's the year of the dog. And then there's a super jumbo pin featuring the Aristocats. It's called Bring Good Fortune. And that pin looks amazing. Limited edition of $150. Retail price is $160. So a high price point there, but I'm sure it's going to be highly detailed.
Yeah, I've seen somebody post online that it looks like the Aristocats is based on a poster artwork that's at Shanghai Disneyland.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
I think it's based on something that actually physically exists as a poster in, I think it was in Shanghai.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. That's cool. I like when they make pins that are related to something in the park. That's fun. All right, moving on to Disney Movie Club. If you guys are VIP members, there's a new Coco pin that was just released in late January, so just last week. Retail price for this pin is just $6.95. You have to be a VIP member of the Disney Movie Club, or you can get it with a purchase of a movie. It's very similar to that AMC pin, the AMC Theaters pin with Miguel and Dante walking. Are you a Disney Movie Club member?
I am, but I'm not yet a VIP member. I think I'm one movie away from being able to get VIP status and actually purchase those pins.
Okay.
So I'm really close. But I know a lot of people were really excited about the Coco pin out since there's quite a few people who are trying to be Coco completists.
Right.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. We just have the concept art right now, so I'm excited to see the actual pin when it's released and how close it's going to be to that AMC pin. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not a movie club member, but I feel like I should join because they keep releasing nice pins.
Yeah, and the price point of those seems to be pretty good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, not bad at all. $6.95.
yeah, you just gotta buy enough of the Disney DVDs to get them.
Yeah. All right, next we'll head over to BoxLunch retail stores and online. This past week they released the Star Wars Porg pin set, the little birds from the Last Jedi film. It's a 3-pin set. Retail price is $14.90. I like this set. It was pretty popular when we posted it. That's available online at boxlunch.com. And then there was another pin set at BoxLunch that was just released. This one features The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a 2-pin set, Jack and Sally heart-shaped pins, so just in time for Valentine's Day. And that one retail price is just $10.90. And that's available online as well. Okay, next we'll head over to Disney Studio Store Hollywood. They released their February calendar. The next upcoming release is actually featuring the Black Panther. That one's on February 16th. And then later at the end of February, on February 24th, is the Character Block Series pins, which these ones are super popular.
Oh, yeah.
I really want the Zootopia pin because I love Flash, but I don't think I'm going to get it because it's probably going to be really high.
Yeah, I think most all of us are really into the Zootopia one.
Yeah.
I kind of resign myself to I don't necessarily try to collect all of the Studio Store Zootopia pins, but if they find their way to me, I'm really happy.
Yeah. It's like we mentioned in the previous video, to get these pins, it does take a little bit of effort. So the secondary price point on that pin is probably going to be pretty high. Also at Disney Studio Store Hollywood this past week, this was exciting. The Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs 80th anniversary pin release. They brought in Snow White. They're showing it at the El Capitan Theater. And then they had a surprise pin release, one featuring the Marquee. That's limited edition of 300. Retail price is $21.95. And then they had another one with Snow White and Evil Queen. That one was just limited edition of 200, so low edition size there. And its retail price is $21.95 as well. I always like when they do these surprise releases. It makes it kind of fun.
Yeah, and they've now had so many pins for the 80th anniversary. It's been really cool, especially if you're a snow collector. Lots of really cool pins.
Right, from all over. It's just like crazy.
Yeah.
They went hard for the 80th anniversary. All right, and then we also got moving over to Disneyland Paris. The February calendar was released this past week. They have lots of exciting new releases coming up this month. Some featuring The Lion King, Toy Story. We've got some from Tangled. There's also a little Love pin set for Valentine's Day. So those are all nice looking pins there. And then their next pin trading night is February 23rd over there at Disneyland Paris. So you guys can check out that calendar. We have the blog post up online. Moving on to shopDisney.com. They released these little heart-shaped pins featuring Mickey Mouse gloves and Minnie Mouse gloves. They were also released in store, and the retail price on these sets are only $5. So really awesome. It's a 2-pin set. One's themed to Mickey Mouse, one's themed to Minnie Mouse, and part of the proceeds go to Boys and Girls Club of America. So that's just like the holiday pins that released. I think that was like back in November or December. Did you happen to get these pins?
Yeah, I did, because right when they released or Shop Disney had free shipping. So I decided to, instead of having to drive to a store, just get them then with the free shipping. I saw somebody who must have gotten them in person. They took one of the Mickey hands and one of the Minnie hands together and kind of made that a pin set. And I thought that looked really cute together.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that idea. I didn't go to my local Disney store just because after work it was kind of hectic getting out there. So I just did like what you did. I did the free shipping online. It made sense to just do it that way. So
easy enough.
Yeah. And then at Shop Disney, this was kind of exciting to see. They released the Mary Poppins Tsum Tsum pin. You guys might have seen this pin before. It was actually released out at D23 Expo in California last July. So I'm not sure why they re-released it. I guess I thought it sold out at the expo, but apparently they held some for a later date. Because this is a limited edition 3,000 pin, and the retail price is $12.95. But it is like one of those Tsum Tsum stackable pins. It has Mary Poppins, Bert, and one of the dancing penguins. I didn't get that one for myself, but that was a popular post when we did it as well. So I think people are excited who couldn't make it out to D23 Expo. They were able to just buy it online. Okay, heading over to Disney Parks in America. First, we're going to start off with a cast member pin. This was probably the most popular pin this past week. It's the Stitch and Angel pin driving in the car with all the hearts around it. And it has the Disneyland Park sign in the background. This pin was released for cast members only at Company D, limited edition of 500. And it blew up whenever we posted it. A very popular pin. I know there's lots of Stitch collectors out there. And I think that was released on both coasts. I'm not 100% sure. But
yeah, I've seen versions where they have one for Disneyland where it'll say Disneyland on it, and then they have another Walt Disney World one.
Oh, okay.
I think I've heard the Disneyland one may already be sold out, but I've seen a lot of people have been looking for that pin.
Yeah, I've seen it all over all the Facebook groups and everything. So probably the most popular one of the week.
Yeah.
All right, now for the new pin releases this week. These are coming out on Thursday, February 8th. We have the Mardi Gras pin for Disney Parks. This one is really nice. It looks like it has glitter embellishments in the background with green. And it has Goofy playing a saxophone and Donald Duck. Looks like he's playing the trumpet. Very colorful pin. And that is limited edition of 3,000. That will be released on both coasts, so Disneyland and Walt Disney World. And then we have the next Lattes with Characters pin. This one features Jiminy Cricket. I think I'm going to get this one because I love Jiminy. This one is limited edition of 3,000. Retail price on that pin is $16.99. And again, that's released on both coasts, Disneyland and Walt Disney World. All right, so that's going to do it for the pin news this week. Now let's get into Disney Pin Chat. So for this week, Emily and I were kind of brainstorming some ideas to talk about for Pin Chat. Actually, Emily had a great idea to talk about the WDI pins released at Mickey's of Glendale. We just kind of want to go a little bit further in depth about them, especially because we know there's lots of questions around these pins, similar to the Disney Studio Store Hollywood pins. That's why I did a video on it this past week, kind of explaining more for the beginner pin traders. Maybe I'll briefly start off with I'll just go very broad, then Emily, if you want to dig a little deeper in, because I know you're a WDI pin collector, right?
I have a few. I don't get too many, but I try to get the ones that are more attainable.
All right. So if you guys don't know, if you're a beginner pin trader, WDI stands for Walt Disney Imagineering, and they are typically cast member exclusive pins. There are specific events you can get these pins at, but they're always released at a store called Mickey's of Glendale, and there's actual physical location in California. Then they have pop-up shops. They usually have one once or twice a year in Orlando. So these pins are probably one of the highest quality pins that Disney makes, besides the Disney Studio Store Hollywood pins. I think these are probably the number one as far as quality goes and detail.
Yeah, I definitely say that pretty much most of my WDI pins are the nicest ones that I have. They're always typically a really nice large size. They have so many nice details on them, and they are like the tops of what Disney releases today.
Right. And they're usually low edition size, around 250. It seems like a typical edition size, 250. Yeah. But yeah, so these are typically cast member exclusive pins. So if you're a cast member, say at Disneyland, you can go and hit up the Mickey's of Glendale store in California and go and purchase these pins. For example, these ones that are coming out this week on February 5th, on Monday, you'll be able to go in-store, pick them up if you're a cast member, and then they're usually released about 2 days later on a Wednesday online. So if you're a Walt Disney World cast member, you're able to log into the Hub website, click on the Mickey's of Glendale, there's a button in there, and you're able to actually purchase these pins online from Florida.
So I've seen a lot of beginners ask for pickups of the pins, kind of like, a lot of people ask for Walt Disney World pickups, and that's pretty easy, but just by the nature of the pins, how it's, one per cast member at the release, you can't bring cast members aren't supposed to sell them.
Right.
Because they can get fired for that.
Right.
Which is kind of the difficult part.
Yeah, it is kind of a sticky situation, but they do, Disney does give opportunities for like regular people like me to purchase these pins. That's how I've gotten all my WDI pins. I've actually never purchased them through someone online. I've always just got them myself because these are released at events like D23 Expo in California. They have a huge store there, a huge Mickey's of Glendale store. I actually probably waited 5 hours in line for that store, which was nuts. But when I was in there, I bought every single pin they had.
Yeah.
You just have to. And then they also bring them to Orlando. So I don't know if you guys watched the YouTube channel, but I did a vlog back in November during a pop-up shop. I showed all the pins that were released there. All those princess ones with like the dogs were released at that event. And that was at the Contemporary Resort. And it's just, they had a little ballroom there. You could go in, you could buy Walt Disney Imagineering merchandise like shirts and hats and stuff. And then they also have a section where all the pin releases are. I tried to film in there, but they didn't really want me to film much in there. Mm-hmm. So I actually bought all the pins.
Interesting.
Yeah. I actually was filming the display, and the girl yelled at me. She said, I wasn't allowed to film in there. So, so I bought all the pins. I took them back to my hotel room, and then I filmed them a video for YouTube. Yeah, most of these WDI pins, like the resale value is very high. Mm-hmm. It's typical to a studio store Hollywood pin, just because of the low edition size, the quality, and how you get them. I've had so many people ask me when I go to these events to get these pins for them at cost, mm-hmm. but usually you have to buy an event ticket to get into the event to buy the pins. Mm-hmm. You're paying for a hotel, your flight to get there. It's just like you're waiting hours and hours in line. I've waited countless hours in lines for pins, and that you take that into consideration when you want to sell a pin. So that's why these pins increase in value so much. Yeah,
it's a lot harder than, just going into the parks and all these stores have the pins and there are, thousands of them available. These, either you have to be a cast member to get them, or if it's later on in the release, a cast member can bring a guest in and they can buy them. But otherwise, really, you have to attend like events like D23 and wait many, many, many hours in line for them.
Right. And that's another thing. You have to be a D23 Gold member, and that's $80 a year just to have that membership. Yeah. So, these are really exclusive pins, and I don't know. I think that makes it more special because it takes so much to get that pin. It's a collectible. It's a piece of art. Yeah, most of these pin releases are online, like this one coming up here in February, on February 5th here. We always try to post them whenever the new releases are available online. They don't really do the pop-up shops much. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping, I know for a fact there will be one this year in Orlando. It's during
exciting.
Yeah, it's during the Destination D event in November. That's at the Contemporary Resort, the ballroom. It's a weekend-long event. That one's actually themed to Mickey Mouse's birthday, his 90th birthday. Mm. So they will have a Mickey's of Glendale pop-up shop in there for the weekend. Lots of limited edition pins will be released. So maybe we'll have some exclusive Mickey Mouse birthday pins. Yeah, I'll be attending that event for sure. I don't know if we'll have another pop-up shop. Sometimes they do the ones out in Mickey's of Glendale, California. They have like a shopping day. Do you remember, Emily? Yeah. I think they did one back in December.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't know if they released holiday pins. If it was,
I think it was a snowman
series. Yeah, they did. I think they did that at that event.
Yeah. So that was a little smaller, but you could have purchased a ticket to get to that event. You didn't have to be a Disney cast member for that one. So yeah, it's fun when they do these little pop-up shops and allow regular guests to go and purchase the pins. But most of them are for Disney cast members. Mm-hmm. Anything else we should add before we end it off here about WDI?
I mean, I think that covers most of the basics. That I think a lot of people see these really cool pins and they're like, oh, I want this, but they oftentimes don't realize everything that goes into getting them.
Right, it's a process to get these pins.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think that's going to do it for episode number 118 here of the DPB podcast. Emily, thank you so much for joining, and why don't you shout out your channel and where everyone can find you at?
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having me on. You can find me on YouTube under Zippity Doo Disney. I do a lot of pin-related videos, other general Disney videos, and sometimes I try and sneak in some geology of Disney videos too.
Nice. Yeah, I like your channel a lot. It's very informative and good quality videos. I'm
Thanks.
definitely a subscriber. And you just put your latest video up was about first timers at Disneyland, right?
Yeah. I went to Disneyland for the very first time last year after growing up going only to Walt Disney World. So I kind of talked about some of the most surprising things about going to Disneyland for the first time, mainly having the perspective of what Walt Disney World is like.
Nice. Well, guys, definitely check out her channel. She does lots of pin-related stuff. So, yeah, thank you so much, Emily, for joining. I really appreciate you coming on. Hope everyone has a great week. Thanks for watching. See ya.